A boy is trying to sell an item at the pawn shop. The man says he'll give him 50 bucks for it. The boy says his mother said it's made out of gold, but the man says it's a fake. The boy then says she's actually dead. The owner then decides to give him 60 bucks. As the man unlocks the safe, the boy carefully listens to his combination. Outside, he enters a car with two adults. The man asks him what the deal is. The boy replies he doesn't want to do this anymore. The woman says it's their last job, so he calls her a liar. The man takes away his comic book and asks him about the combination. He then gives them the exact numbers. When the shop closes, they put on masks and grab their guns. As they're robbing, the boy goes up to the shop. He sees that they shoot the owner. As the woman is panicking, the boy runs off. They chase him through the woods. He's hit by a car as he's crossing. It is Martha Kent. She takes him to the hospital. As she drives off, the bandits see them leave. At the hospital, the nurse says his name is Ryan and he claims to have no memory. She believes it's post-traumatic stress. She says his memory will return, but it seems he doesn't want to remember as he has been abused. We see Ryan glimpsing. She asks that child services are understaffed and will only be available tomorrow. The only place for Ryan to stay is at the juvenile cell at the sheriff's station. Clark asks if he can come with them. The doctor says she'll try to manage it. In the morning, Ryan has prepared a whole pancake breakfast. He's grateful he can stay. He describes precisely what both Martha and Jonathan like. He asks Clark what he wants, but then looks surprised. They ask him about yesterday night, but he says he doesn't remember. He says he isn't hiding anything and then leaves. Outside, he talks with Clark. He's sad and afraid. He likes reading Warrior Angel comics because he protects people who can't protect themselves. He says he likes being around Clark. It's peaceful. Clark then takes him to play ball. The robber we saw earlier asks the nurse about the boy in the paper who lost his memory. He says he's a private detective. The nurse says she'll get Dr. Harden. The couple then sneak off. As Clark's playing with Ryan, Jonathan says it's a great sound. Martha says they should have adopted another child so that Clark could have shared his secrets with a younger brother. Lionel Luthor is in Smallville and tells Lex that his performance has been more than adequate. He wants him to come back to Metropolis. He will be a special advisor to the chairman emeritus. Lex says he'll think about it. Lionel says they don't need to play games, to which Lex replies, games are all we've got. Ryan's with Clark at school. Chloe tells him a story about the lost boy but changed the ending. Ryan says why she just didn't say he was murdered. She's surprised. Chloe takes a picture of him to check against missing persons. Ryan says she likes Clark, that she wants him to ask her to prom. Clark doesn't believe it, but Ryan says she already chose a pink dress. Clark insists that it's not possible, but Ryan also persists. Clark tells Lana that Ryan is like a brother. She says that's how she also sees Clark. Lex sees the Warrior Angel comic and says he's also a fan. Ryan somehow seems to know that Lex has first edition panels framed in his house. Lex tells Clark he has the whole collection of Warrior Angel. When Clark asks Ryan if he'd like to check out Lex's collection, he says, whatever. Clark says that it was a rude reaction to his friend. Ryan says he's leaving since his father offered him a new job. Clark says his father would never do that. He tells him to stop making up stories about people. He stares upon an image of Warrior Angel saying, you're safe. Ryan suddenly seems worried. As he looks behind him, we see the robber. He flees through the back door, the man follows him but can't see him. Lana says that Ryan just took off out the back. He looks scared. As the man is searching, we see a garbage truck in the back. As Clark calls Ryan, the man leaves, but the truck grabs the dumpster that Ryan's hiding in. It is lifted and Ryan falls in the back of the truck. He's panicking, and the truck starts crushing the garbage. Ryan starts shouting for help. Clark sees him with his x-ray. He pulls out the compressor cable and then tears open the back. He says he's safe now. Clark tells Lex he likes Ryan as he was an only child. He then asks him if he ever wished he had a sibling. Lex says he had one. When he was 11 years old, his mom got pregnant. Julian was the boy, but he stopped breathing in his crib. His mother was never the same after that and his father got even more distant. He then tells him about his dad's offer. Clark asks if he told Ryan. He says he hasn't told anyone and isn't sure if it's what he wants now. Jonathan comes with Ryan to take a drink at the town. Ryan asks Lana if it's okay if friends have secrets. He thinks Clark is hiding something from him. Lana says everyone has one. Ryan says that the waitress is not a good person and she should be fired. As Jonathan arrives back home, the robbers are jealous and looking. The man looks at a paper with Lex on it and says they have to get back to work and they'll come back. Chloe and Clark are looking for some clues about Ryan at the accident. Clark says he's probably running from someone. Chloe finds a backpack at the side of the road. They find in it some comics and Twizzlers. Clark also finds a picture with Ryan and a lady. Clark mentions their conversation about her buying a dress for prom. Chloe says she just looked at the dress. They're not sure how Ryan knew. Ryan is staring at Martha and then mentions she loves Clark but she couldn't have her own kids. He then asks about Clark's strength. She denies this. When Clark goes down into the cellar, he looks around and finds Ryan there. When Clark asks how he knew about this, he says that he heard this in Martha's mind. Ryan can hear what people are hearing at the moment. Except for Clark, he can't read his mind. Clark's mad, but Ryan says he'll keep his secret. He asks if Clark wants to know Lana's secret about him. Clark doesn't want to know about it. Ryan says he can't block out people's thoughts. Clark shows him the picture and asks if it's his mother. He says she died and wanted Clark's parents to adopt him so he can be safe. His stepfather and his new wife are chasing him. They've been using his abilities to steal. He wanted to stop, but they threatened him and beat him. He asked Clark to protect him. Clark then hugs him as he's shedding tears. As someone knocks on the door, Ryan opens it. It's the bandit woman. She says she'll kill them if he says anything. She then pretends she's from child services to pick up Ryan. Jonathan says she's an hour too early. Jonathan says Ryan might be running away from his stepfather, so they alert the police. Martha wants to wait a bit so he can say goodbye to Clark, but they have to leave. Jonathan says they've just left. Clark is upset. Lex arrives by limousine since he's going for a big dinner at Metropolis. He gives Clark a foil. Lex still hasn't made up his mind. Clark hopes he stays. As the driver closes the door, we see it's the robber himself. As they're driving at night, the car stops. The man closes the front and suddenly Ryan is pushed into the car. The man points a gun at Lex and they drive off. He tells Lex to give the password to his trust fund. Lex says his father has it. Ryan says he's lying. The man loads his gun and asks again. He asks if Ryan got it. He then nods. Chloe tells Clark that Ryan's stepdad is a criminal. Clark notices it's Lex's limo driver. Lex is then thrown out of the driving vehicle. The man asks for the password. Ryan says it's Julian. Lex tells Clark they got Ryan. They stop outside and pour gasoline on the limo. The man sees that the password doesn't work, but Ryan doesn't want to give it. When the woman points her gun at him, he tells her that the man will kill her once he gets the money. The woman says that the kid has never lied. The man turns around in anger. He grabs his gun and then shoots her. Ryan runs into the building and the cleaner is shot. Inside the bowling alley, Ryan hides. The man looks for him and then starts shooting. Clark sees the dead bodies. He starts looking for Ryan. The man finds Ryan and then points his gun at him. Clark sees the man with his x-ray and then throws with full force a bowling ball through the wall at the man, most likely killing him with the impact. Clark says Ryan's safe. At the Talon, Clark says that Chloe found Ryan's aunt and he'll be going to Edge City. She thanks him for his advice. The waitress was stealing from the till and then gives him a kiss on the cheek, making his day. Lex tells Lionel he's not going back to Metropolis. He says Lionel can't stand it that he's on track and he just wants to keep an eye on him. Lionel's afraid of his success. Lex says he'll return when he's ready. They can't say goodbye to Ryan. He tells them that he'll keep Clark's secret. His aunt then arrives. Ryan says she's a nice person. He asks Clark if he's sure he doesn't want to know how Lana feels about him, but Clark prefers to find out on his own. Ryan then tells him to be careful of Lex as there's a lot of darkness he keeps from the world. Clark says he likes to believe in people's best. Ryan then gives him his comics. He says he doesn't need them anymore, as he has Clark now. Clark then hugs him. Ryan hugs his aunt. They wave at each other. Ryan then departs with a smile.